Indoor air handler. Some people might call it the furnace. That's okay, however you're more comfortable identifying it, just so that you can relate to it. It's located in the hall closet. This was a very common installation in the days of yore, and I mean it still happens. See, this is the air return. So this door should be sealed as if it was an exterior door, so that we do not have an air exchange around this door, because carbon monoxide could escape from the furnace operation, come through the door, get sucked into the return air, and then broadcast all throughout the home. So that's what that's about. And it's just a matter of, one, correcting the ventilation, because you need combustible air, and it was getting it from this gap at the bottom of the door, which is no longer acceptable. Correcting the ventilation in the closet, and then sealing up the door. And that's what it would take to make that right. Let's just keep going up then. As the air filter is right here. It's what size is this guy? He's just kind of lift him up. You can tell the air is leaking around here. And we've got a 14 by 25 by 1 air filter. And you always want to replace the air filters. Of course, this one's been replaced. They're ready for the home inspection. This is a return air plenum. So by today's energy standards, this cavity underneath this indoor air handler should be lined with a galvanized or otherwise approved safety pan. As it is, it doesn't have that. So let's move on up just a little bit farther. We've got some rust in our burner compartments here. We can tell over here by reading this label. It's a carrier. So that's the second digits on the serial number. So that's 93. 93. This unit is 28 years old. Again, or maybe this is the first time. The Texas Real Estate Commission doesn't care how old a system is, but my clients might. My clients might care. The Texas Real Estate Commission, is it installed properly? Does it work? Does it not work? Is it a safety issue, like this venting around the door? You know, I wasn't so. But this equipment, and this goes for all the HVAC equipment, it's engineered on paper to last 20 years. It's spec'd out to last 20 years. It might last 30 years. In fact, this one has lasted 28 years. It's 28 years old. But it's engineered on paper to last 20. In Texas, we're averaging about 14 years for these systems. So even though it was engineered for 20, after 14 years, it's given you everything you thought it, should give you, would expect it to give you. It's more than doubled its gambling life. But just about any tech that comes in here is going to, rightfully so, encourage you to update this system. Just saying. This is the induction fan. Okay, and see, when they're dirty like that, from my experience, it's going to be loud, and it's going to be an annoyance, and it might be time to consider, if you keep this furnace, and I don't recommend you do that, but you're going to be replacing parts. This is about a $500 replacement right here. I know, because I just replaced one last week in my furnace. That's how I know that. I don't do price estimates. Okay, so, and that doesn't even count the heat exchanger. I don't even know what to tell you that would cost. So I might want to think about this. When this was installed, it was okay to have a brass connector like that, but it takes a wrench. If you got an emergency, you have to come in here with a wrench. So that old style brass connector should have been replaced. You should have a sediment trap now, to keep impurities from getting into your burners. And to see this gray plastic connector, man, they haven't been legal in years. Okay, that is, in and of itself, that's a fire hazard. In and of itself, that should be replaced. Okay, we got an electric disconnect switch. We do not have a care and use manual. The primary drain line does not have a P-trap, and it's not insulated. We do have a safety switch, a float switch. That's a good thing for the secondary. Okay, we got corrosion on our flue pipe. That tells us we got problems. I mean, right there. I mean, that tells the tale. It's time. We got some unidentified organic substance on the walls around here. All right, because they're leaky. It's the ventilation's weird. It's the furnaces inside of here. But you know, I can't tell you that. I can tell you that's a fungal growth, because all molds are funguses, but all funguses aren't mold. I can't say the M word, but I did. That's what that is. And if you look up the EPA, you know, recommendations, they're going to tell you to cut it out and replace it. I mean, there's no such thing as a good mold. I mean, there is for cheese and penicillin, but no. I mean, that just should be replaced. Now, this is the evaporator coil. Oh, and this flue should not be held together with tape. Should be held together with tape. And we got a screen, so it's not ventilating on the makeup air properly. So we got a screen up there. And then this box right here, that's your evaporator coil. That goes to the primary drain line. That doesn't have a P-trap and is not insulated. And this guy, he's only about 5 years old. Is that right? Look. Look. Yeah, 5 years old. So he's got some good life in him. The evaporator coil, and you're going to learn that the condensing unit, they're both about 5 years old. It's the furnace. The furnace is almost 30 years old. And that's what we're going to learn. We're going to learn that the door should be sealed and the closet should be better ventilated. We're going to learn that the plenum, the under the floor plenum, should have a pan. We're going to learn that we have the wrong valve. We're going to learn that we have the wrong connector. We're going to learn that we do not have a sediment trap. We're going to learn that we've got rust. We're going to learn that we've got tape. We're going to learn that we do not have a P-trap and that drain line's not insulated. And in the next video, we're going to learn that this guy discharges too close to the house. So, and that'll be the very next video. We're going to learn that we have some unidentified organic substance, and again, the closet's not ventilated properly. And we do not have a care and use manual. Did I say that already? I always say that.